Skibbity toilet riz?
Skibbity
Oh.
Skibbity Toilet Riz. Do, do you know a lot about that? I have no idea how.
I everything I know about it has been against my will.
Same, same. I have a friend that collects these like little. It's like blind boxes that are the Skibbity toilet things, and I didn't know that's something you could
Oh.
get. But
Yeah,
oh,
there's like a whole like section of them at like Target. Like, which is just insane because I'm like, why is there literally like what I thought was like just like an internet meme? Like, I know it's a whole series online,
hmm.
but I was like, is this just like an internet meme? I don't know. And then like, where did the Riz come from? You know,
Riz, I
like,
have no idea.
because Skibbity was one thing, and then Riz was something else. So then it was Skibbity Toilet Riz, and I'm like, where did this come from?
I think
How did this
I
happen?
think Riz is short for charisma, right? Isn't that what that is?
Yeah, it is. It
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Wow. Kids
Well, we're
these days,
learning.
wow. But anyways, welcome on. It's good to have you. I've been excited to talk to you. It's been
Heck
great.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it was like a good like year and a half that we've been like a friendly acquaintances ish.
Yee.
Yeah, I was like
Yeah.
something like that. Like, I remember you like reading me like forever ago when I was playing Spyro, and that was still when I was like streaming from like a console. Uh,
Mm. That was when you were just the hash brown.
yeah, just the hash brown. Well, even then, I didn't even have like a PNG or nothing. I was just straight like
Mm.
couldn't couldn't do anything. Um, but yeah, you're very. I was like kind of looking into like the stuff you've been doing, like your live conventions and all the stuff you do. It's like the NASCAR and the music and the. It's like you got your finger in a lot of pies. Where
True. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a curse and a blessing.
curse. Oh, how's it occur? Oh, I guess I can see how it's a curse. Being very busy, but how's it a curse for you? Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. So I've talked about it in a couple ways, and I just want to pause because, like, um, I just noticed that my name is spelled wrong on your
Oh,
stream.
is it? Oh
It's
shit! I'm
okay,
sorry.
but yeah, it's just the Ojo is Oujo.
O U J. Oh shoot!
Yeah,
Whoopsie
there's no
days.
U. There's a U. It's okay. You're good though.
Wait, give me
It's
one.
honestly a classic mistake. So I just wanted to pause and mention that.
O U
But
J.
yeah, while
Oh,
you're updating that,
gotcha.
basically for me it's been like a curse in a way because yes obviously I'm super busy and so I'm constantly doing so many things, and I think also for me it's a bit of a curse because like it's what I love to do, it's what I'm passionate about
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but the issue is that like currently the VTubing community or industry as a whole, like that audience doesn't really care, like it not a whole lot at least, because in our industry it's like people care about, oh, a new model or like shiny new VTuber debut
Mm-hmm.
or agency VTuber like drama, like that's what people care about. They don't really care like, oh, there's a VTuber like actually touching grass, like that kind of thing isn't doesn't really exist, so it's just not something that I feel like people really give. Can I curse on your
Oh
stream?
yeah,
Just
yeah.
like your
Of
stream?
course, of course. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I just want to make sure that I'm not like,
yeah. You're
okay,
fine. Yeah.
yeah, it's just something that like I think not a lot of people like really give a shit about because
No,
of
I'm just
just
kidding.
how the industry is.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like it's a curse in the sense where like yes, I've been to over like 25 different conventions at this point. I've probably interacted with like about 10,000 people. And so there's that. But none of those people really come back to my stream. Like I get really lucky if I even have one person like kind of, regularly come to the stream and interact with me and be a part of like Corey's community.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty hard. Like, I interact with so many people at the cons, but really only one or two people will kind of stick around afterwards. And that's just like being lucky as well if
Mm-hmm.
I get one or two. Sometimes I get zero. So that's like, and the problem with that is, well, the reason why that is because the con audience is still innately different than the audience that's online that's watching VTubers, because people who are watching VTubers potentially more than likely they're just staying home or they're not going to conventions.
Yeah.
People who are going to conventions, like they actually like want to go out and like they want to go to even more conventions, not like stay really like online and watching VTubers all the time.
Hmm.
Now, obviously, I'm not saying everybody in that cluster like works that way. I'm just like kind of generally speaking, just from my experience, like they are two different audiences, and even though it's been really fun to do those events and I love doing it and that's like pretty much become my brand, it's a struggle because I have to try to balance like building what I love and what I'm passionate about, but
Hmm.
also trying to like bend over backwards and build the online presence that I'm supposed to have as well that I need to try to create for myself.
Mm.
So it's like tough. And like the collaborations that I have, like you had mentioned, the NASCAR driver partnership that I have, that came from like a convention. I met Michael Klein, the driver, at a convention, which
Mm.
was like really awesome. Um, and he reached out and like was like, "Hey, do you want to? I saw that you collaborated with an American baseball team, the Frisco Rough Riders in Texas, and like, would you be open to collaborating with me, a NASCAR driver?" And I was like, "Well, heck yeah, I'm your girl, you know." So,
Hell yeah.
um, so that's like kind of how that happened. But it was just kind of like luck, you know, and just being at the right place at the right time. So you know, if I had a bigger audience online, I think, I don't know, but I would hope that I would potentially get more opportunities like that. But all the opportunities that I have done, I've pretty much created that space for myself to be able to get that. It hasn't just like fallen into my lap like
Hmm.
some people seem to think for some reason. But yeah, so that's kind of like how it's a curse. It's just like I haven't been able to build that like online presence as much as like I would like to. But I definitely know that I've made an impact in other ways. It's just like in my day-to-day stream, I can't see that impact reflected, if that makes any sense. So that's like it could be a little bit disheartening,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I just don't. Sometimes I'm just like not motivated to stream because I'm like, well, nobody cares. You know what I mean? Just the classic content creator like cycle.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, otherwise, like I don't want to make it seem like it's a bad thing. Like I want to say like 80% of the time, like the events are such a positive thing for me. It is what I'm passionate about, so it makes me happy, you know. So most of the time it is good, but it definitely can be a curse sometimes.
Yeah, I was about to say because you recently you did a con that almost had nothing to do with like anime or VTubing or anything. You did Lumpia Fest, right?
I
And
did, yeah. I went to Lumpia
and
Fest.
that was like a that was almost like I remember because I watched the video and you mentioned yeah that was like almost there was no anime or VTubing anything. How was that like?
Yeah, thanks for watching that. I really
Hmm.
appreciate it. Yeah, no, it was actually interesting. So I was really nervous because like I'm an introvert at heart,
Hmm.
obviously. So for me, like trying to be obnoxious and outgoing, like even if it's just through a screen, like it still makes me like sweat my butt cheeks off. And so for me, it was just like it was interesting, but also like terrible because I knew like, oh, nobody cares about anime, nobody knows like about VTubing, like nobody, this isn't that type of event, and so it kind of added that extra layer of like, oh shit.
Hmm.
But for the most part, like I, even though it wasn't like directly like anime or VTubing related, it was fun to just like go because it's not something that other VTubers really do, where like they actually go IRL and like interact with things that they probably wouldn't normally be doing. And so it was actually really interesting just to like try to like talk to people and talk to them about their food and stuff like that, and just interact with people in like a different setting. It wasn't really about like promoting Corey in that sense. It was just about like literally getting strange interactions and reactions from people at the festival, which I thought
Hmm.
was really fun. I like to get reactions out of people sometimes, so that type of like environment was interesting for me, and it came out to be a cool video. So I mean, I'm biased, but yeah.
I know those. It was funny. Like I remember there was like a guy that was like just kind of looking like he didn't know what was going on, and then went to walk away, and you're like, "How's the food? Rate it, rate it."
Yeah.
Come back.
I know it's so funny because like there's a slight delay between like when the other person like on the other side gets my like voice, or you know, because obviously it's kind of like a FaceTime call, right? Like there's a
Mm-hmm.
slight half a second delay between like me saying it and then them hearing it. And so sometimes like I'll say something but I don't, like they're already walking away, but I don't mean to be saying it at that time, you know, because it's just like the delay that's happening. So yeah, it's pretty, yeah, so moments like that's pretty funny too, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I really like that part of the video. It was funny. But anyway, let me introduce you since we've been into it for a little while. Hi everybody. My name is Hash Brown Friend. This is the Griddle. I was just about to give the introduction to hot ones, like hot questions and hotter answers or some shit. But that's not.
Real.
I don't want to be
If
sued.
only.
Yeah.
Well, what is all this hot sauce you sent me, Hash Brown? Like, that's
Nothing. It's just like hot ones just xed out and just like hash
mm,
browns, hot sauce. I was trying to think of another H
hot
word.
potato,
Hot
hot potatoes.
hot potato. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But,
Yeah.
but if anyone, oh yeah, and I'm with you, Corey Ojo. Wow. Straight from Xylon. What is that how you pronounce that,
Me.
right? Xylon?
Yeah,
Of
yeah, you got
of course. Yeah. Yeah, I knew that. I totally didn't spell your name wrong in the title at first. Uh,
it. Ooh, what? Huh? What
oopsie, oopsie,
happened?
poopsie. But yeah, Corey is very what's the word? I don't know if prevalent is the right word, but yeah, like I was saying in the beginning, they got their finger in a lot of pies. It's like music, game design, conventions. I mean, streaming, of course, and it's like every time I think about it, I get my mind goes like it's like holy shit. Uh, but yeah, thanks again for joining me. I super appreciate you. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, sorry. Your concert is soon, the 27th, right? Vegas.
Yeah,
How's
it's
it?
like,
How's the setup for that
oh
going?
gosh, it's going, it's moving somewhat,
Mm,
slowly but steadily. Yeah, no, it's good. It's been like a weird couple months because, I, it's just been super busy, I guess,
mm,
and I didn't expect one part of my life to be moving in the way it was. So I ended up, I'm a homeowner, a hoe,
hell
proud
yeah.
hoe right here. But
Mm,
I like just moved in like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And
nice.
so like I was so stressed out, and I still am, because moving is stressful, and just in general, like with the concert, like even while I was moving,
Mm,
I was still having to handle like some of the concert prep and whatnot. So that was crazy. But yeah, now that we're like, I think we're like 9 days away. And so
ooh.
it's kind of just hitting me, like, just it's getting closer and closer, and I'm getting more and more like on edge.
Mm,
There's still like some things that I need to complete. Like, I'm a one-man team. I do everything myself, basically. We do
mm,
have one person like physically there. My representative is like physically there to help set things up, but like I have to like create their itinerary. I have to tell them what's going to happen. I have to give them all the information. I have to manage all of that, organize all of that,
mm.
on top of organizing like 80 plus VTubers for the opening acts,
Ooh.
for the group collab songs. It's kind of split up into different like opening acts, basically. And in the first part, like, we have a bunch of VTubers in it, and I have to like finish like mixing and mastering all their vocals. So
Jeez.
that's fun. But yeah, and then obviously like I'm like prepping and training every day just to like make sure that like I have the stamina to like do the concert. So that's the other side of it too. But yeah, it's been an interesting time, and it's been really crazy for sure. Just a lot going on, but I feel like as we're getting closer and as things are starting to come together, like, I feel really confident that this is going to be a really great event.
Mm.
We've like so the Vegas concert is free, by the way.
Oh.
If you happen to be in the Vegas area, you're welcome to come by. We do recommend reserving a ticket though, because honestly, I only thought 5 people were going to show up,
Uh-huh.
but like we almost have like 100 tickets
Oh wow.
reserved. And so I'm like kind of shitting my pants. And my kind of, I mean, 100% Baja Blast out the ass, chalupa out the pooper right now. So, um, I've been trying to handle that. But yeah, so it is free. If you can't make it to Vegas, don't worry. Um, it's also going to be streamed on my Twitch as well. So
Nice.
it's just a completely free and accessible concert. And I'm really proud of that. Like, kind of a tangent here, but not really. But I talked about it in the article that VTuber News Drop did about the concert. But
Mhm.
um, my two main goals with this concert was really just to make it accessible to VTubers and accessible to the fans of the community. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because like at the core of me, like, I call myself like an IRL event VTuber. Like, what does that mean, really? And to me, it means that I'm bridging kind of that gap between VTubing and IRL events. And
Mhm.
so what does that mean at a higher level than that? It's just to make VTubing more accessible to the IRL space. And so to me, I was like, okay, I want to bring on as many VTubers as we possibly can for this event, because I thought it was a really unique and fun event. Like, it's not every day that you get to see like a VTuber on like a big cinema screen. Like, I think that's pretty fun.
Mhm.
And so I had opened up like this little form that people could fill out, and pretty much every single person that had filled it out, I had invited to join me.
Hmm.
And so literally I was like, open the floodgates, like, let's do this. I organized all of that. Which was really stressful, but it's okay. I was happy that I could include all those people, because it can, there's so many different VTubers out there, and I feel like with these concerts, normally we see like Hololive or
Mhm.
V4 Mirai, like they're doing like the concerts with their talents and stuff, which is great. Okay, like totally awesome. There's also stuff that Oshi Spark hosts or collaborates with other VTubers on, like Virtual Vacation or Mince Fatome's Revenge, which was amazing. But like those are all like they collaborate with someone else, and then or it's like an agency and they just have their talents, or
Mhm.
if it's not their talents and it's like a lot of other really big VTubers, which makes sense because like they need to make money, because they're
Yeah.
selling tickets and they're selling merchandise at like 2,000% return. So like of course they need to like have big names on there. That's totally fine, but that
Mhm.
doesn't give a platform or a opportunity for smaller VTubers, the everyday VTuber, to be able to shine, and I feel like
Mhm.
when I was going into this, I was like, I also see myself as a small VTuber, a small streamer. I know some people may disagree, but that's just how I feel in my heart. And so I know that I always really appreciate any type of opportunity that comes my way. And so I was like, if I'm doing this event, I would like to be able to give back to the community in some way, and like bestow this opportunity to other people if I have that, if I can, if I and I happen to be able to. So that was really great. And then we have like the soloists and then the featured performers as well. And I think that's also been really fun to be able to have so many different types of people from different sizes and backgrounds and all that. It really does feel like a just vast collection of different types of VTubers, and I think it's wonderful. So it's nice that there was that one aspect, which was to make it more accessible for VTubers, and then the aspect number two was to make it more accessible to the community, to the fans, right?
Mhm.
So not everyone knows this, but like I am paying out of pocket to do this concert.
Oh shit.
Again, I'm independent. I don't have anyone backing me. I don't have any managers. Like it's
Mhm.
just me doing this. But the reason why I wanted to pay out of pocket for it was because I wanted to be able to make this a free event. I wanted to make it a free event because then I'd have control over this event like almost completely. I remember like when I was reaching out to some other VTubers, I won't name any names,
Mhm.
but I asked them if they wanted to be like a featured performer or something like that, and they were bigger VTubers. But there were people that were like, okay, we have a performance fee of $1,000 or
Oh.
like $2,000, and I'm like, okay, like that's great, but this is like a free event. Like I'm not making any money from this, like
Damn, dude.
zilch. So I'm not doing this for profit. Like, and so I'm sorry, but I can't pay you that money. If you still want to join, like feel free, But that existed, which was interesting. Um, but yeah, I dealt with that, but luckily still had a lot of people that were still interested in just doing it because it was a unique and cool experience, which I'm really thankful
Mhm.
for. The fact that I even got to like reach out to some of the people that I did reach out with, I reach out to, is like crazy. Like you don't usually have a reason to try to reach out to like Iron Mouse, for example.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But I did, and that was really cool. And so anyways, with the accessibility to the fans, I just wanted it to be free. And I've been to so many conventions where their performances or even the panels that VTubers do are hidden behind a paywall,
Oh.
and you have to pay to get into the con, and then you have to pay to go to their panel. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm not made out of money. So it's like, to me, I just wanted to do something where it was accessible to everyone regardless. Like you just have to get there, obviously,
Yeah.
which is like you might have to spend some money on that, especially if you're like on the East Coast or something like that. But you know for the most part, like you could just go, and then it's being live streamed on my Twitch. So even if you can't go, it's still available online completely like for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like I don't want to hide these wonderful VTubers or myself
Hmm.
behind a paywall because let's be honest, like you can watch anybody stream for free. Why are we charging people for a panel? But I know they got to get their money, so I get it.
Oh
But
yeah. Yeah.
it's just like I wanted this is like how I wanted to have other people experience Koryojo, have everyone else experience like my first concert was just like it's accessible and it's easy. Like that's what I wanted it to feel like, and so
Hmm.
that's why like I paid out of pocket to make sure that this was going to be a free event that anyone could attend and be a part of, and I didn't have to worry about like trying to make ticket sales per se either, you know, because like that was just not something I don't care about the money,
Oh
you
yeah.
know. I just want to have a good time, you know. So
Yeah.
that's it, really. But yeah, so those are the things that went into into the thought process of like getting this concert like organized and whatnot. I know I went on a tangent there, and that was definitely not your question, so I
Oh, no, you're
apologize. But
fine. You're fine.
but
It's a
there's that, yeah.
it's a podcast slash talk show. I mean, what we do is talk
Right.
here. It's fine.
Heck yeah.
I
But
don't
you
mind.
have to where I hurt, you know.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, we got 40 more minutes to kill. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I was just thinking too because I live like an hour or two away from Vegas. I was thinking of maybe going myself.
Oh,
That'd be
you
fun.
should. I mean, no pressure, but you should. If you do, let me know. You don't have
Hmm.
to like tell me who you like. You don't have to tell me who you are or anything like that. But like, let me know, and like, I'll like give you like a free thing or
Oh,
something.
thanks.
But
Yeah,
yeah, no pressure though. You don't have to because like obviously it's like a drive and stuff. But yeah,
I'll have to see. I think that's on a Sunday, right?
yeah, it's on the 27th.
27th. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's at 4 p.m. PST.
Oh,
That's when the doors should open. So
I might be able to make that actually then. Okay. Well, I'll message you about it later. But yeah, that's super exciting. A lot of, God, a lot of. I can't even imagine the amount of. I mean, well, you just told me some of it, but the amount of the amount of work that goes into setting up this shit. I can barely get out of bed in the morning. I can't imagine like wrangling. Like how many VTubers did you say was in this? Like
So we have over 80. I think the
80.
exact number is I think like 85.
Ooh.
I think it's around there. It's like 85 or 86.
That's crazy, and I can't imagine because, like you said, you do it all yourself, and I can't imagine messaging and having conversations with at least 80 people, and probably more. You know, the people that weren't able to do this, or I can't. It was just that's like a nightmare. That's my brain
Yeah, no,
explodes
for
at the thought of
sure.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, what we did, or like what I did, was like I created for like the group collab song. So those that has like a lot of VTubers in it. Like I think a little over 60. And
Hmm.
so with that, like I created like a Discord server for it. This is what I usually do
Ah,
for
okay.
most of my events, where I have like a lot of VTubers joining me. But yeah, I just have like a little Discord server built up, and like that's how I communicated with them mostly. But I did have to like DM all of them, obviously, and like do some of that. But
Mhm.
I think that the hardest thing about it is like not having the time to like sit down and explain to every single one of them like why I'm doing the thing, like why I'm doing the things that I'm doing the way that I'm doing it.
Mhm.
Like because I had a lot of people be like and this is not to like, you know, shit talk or like put anyone down, but I had a couple of people be like, well, can I do harmonies, or like can I do X or Y, or why can't we do this? And it's
Mhm.
like, okay, so how do you do harmonies on someone that you can't hear? Like, because they're all doing their own recordings, you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like if I try, even for me, like if I try to do harmony on my own recording that I can't hear, it's muted. How do I like? That's not gonna sound great. Like it could sound, it might sound okay, but
Yeah.
like it's hard to tell. And like if I'm just taking all of their vocal files and I'm the one that's mixing and mastering it, you know how it's gonna be really hard. Like even when I'm mixing and mastering it now, like there are some people who, you know, don't match the timing, or they're going a little bit too slow, going too fast, or maybe they kind of peaked a little bit in this little word, so now I have to like control that. And so there's all these like little nuances, and people were like asking, for example, like why can't I do harmonies, or like can I do a harmony? It's like, well, again, you don't know if it's going to sound good. I don't know if it's going to sound good, and I'm not going to like sit for like an hour trying to make it sound good. But even just like the bass vocal files that I have, which is just like them singing the main, melody, there's a lot of stuff that's off because you just can't, you're not singing next to the person with you, it's just
Mhm.
innately what's going to happen. So yeah, I had like a lot of people like ask me about like why they couldn't do things a certain way, because and I get it, because they wanted to shine, they wanted to make it the best that it could be. But the issue is that it all goes through me, and so the more work that I have to do, I'm probably gonna say no to that. That's just what it is, really. Like, not to be mean, but that's just like what it happens. So that was probably like the biggest struggle
Mhm.
when kind of like working with so many people, is that there are so many different vocal files, and like there was definitely a lot of people where I had to like, I got their file and I still had to go back to them later and be like, oh, this like file doesn't have any sound in it, or can you do this to your file, or I can't use this. People who just like innate, like, just unfortunately, when you're working with over 60 people, like there's gonna be at least a handful of people that don't follow directions
Mhm.
super well, which is okay. But like, it just unfortunately, that's what happens, is just regular human inconsistencies, and like you just have to handle that. But that's probably the most annoying thing. But aside from that, it was pretty chill. I mean, I was really surprised, actually. So I had made these little like promo collateral pieces for everybody to post, and
Mhm.
like I thought like there was going to be maybe like two or three or maybe even five people who end up not posting it, because we had all planned like, okay, we're posting it at this time on this day. And I
Hit the
thought
big
there's
red
going to be
button.
some people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought there was going to be some people who like wouldn't post it, but like actually every single person did, so like that
Oh
was
wow.
really cool. So yeah, positive from that for sure. But yeah, no, everybody did really great though. I will admit. And like, if nothing else, it's just so fun to see so many VTubers like come together on a really cool project like this. And so I'm really grateful for the experience. And it's been great to have so many people a part of this. And they all did such a great job. Like the group collab participants and the soloists, the feature performers, like they
Mhm.
all killed it. So I can't wait to like talk about it and share it and like, have it on the big screen. So I'm just waiting in anticipation now.
That's very cool. And like also, yeah, on top of doing all this, you're also getting a house, which is congratulations about that. That's
Ah, thank
that's
you.
really cool.
Proud ho.
Yeah, proud of, like you that's yeah, like that whole process I know is stressful. I mean, not that I own a house, but I've I've gone through the process of like trying to like kind of get into one, and oh boy. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's that's some incredibly stressful stuff.
It is. I know it's like I know it's really dumb. I didn't want it to like happen all at this time. Don't get me wrong. It was like crazy, man. It was like I had been looking for a house for like, I don't know, like a month, like seriously, for like a month and a half.
Uh-huh.
And I had probably viewed like, I don't know, 20 or 30 houses at least. And then I just like, we just, found this one. Actually, technically my mom found it, but but yeah, we went to like this new construction like site, and there was this house that, for some like, basically I found out that the house was on a flash sale, which was like,
Oh.
houses go on flash sales. Like, I never heard of that before,
Me
but
neither.
okay, I'll take it.
Oh.
So so basically, the reason why it was on a flash sale is because it went into, oh my god, why is the name slipping me right now? I totally forgot. I don't remember the name, but it went into that phase of when you're trying to get the house. God damn it, what is it called? I've been saying it like all month, and then now when I need it, like I don't have. Oh, escrow. There we go. There we
Oh,
go.
okay.
Duh. Okay, I said it like all last month, and then like I think I just wanted to like like not remember, forget everything that had to do with like buying the house. Anyway, so it went
Mhm.
into escrow, but then the person, I guess, who was trying to get the house, like, while it's in escrow, if you don't know, it's basically like they're checking all of your credit, they're checking all of your funds and your accounts to make sure you have money for the house. Yeah, so this guy apparently like got a personal loan during escrow, and so then it fell out of escrow because it's like, oh, if you're getting a loan plus you're trying to get a house, you can't afford this freaking house. And so that fell out of escrow, and essentially, because it fell out of escrow, the builders were losing money on that house, and so they were trying. They had a flash sale on it, and what's even
Oh,
crazier is that the house already came with like blinds and a washer and dryer.
oh wow.
So I didn't even to get yeah like, and I don't know if you've ever had to buy blinds, but like they can be like thousands of dollars, if not like ten thousands of dollars, and so
Yeah.
um it can get really expensive. So, and obviously a washer and dryer is expensive too. So
Hmm.
yeah. But yeah, so I was like, well, shit. I mean, it's a new house and it's like it was like right in my price range. And I was like, okay, why I guess I'm getting it. And so it was like a week decision though. Like it was like 2 days of a decision, and then like
Hmm.
we were like, okay, I put my money down and put everything down, and then you had to go through like all the process of like, the loan officers and escrow and all that for the rest of the month, and then boom, I was like, a month later I was moving in. It was just
Damn, dude.
insane.
What
it,
the
it was
hell?
insane. Yeah.
That's
It was
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know how I feel about it now. Like I think now I'm just like trying not to be like living out of like boxes. Like for the
Uh-huh.
most part I'm not, but like I still have to put some stuff away and blah blah blah. So, yeah, I mean, I know that even if you're just like looking for like apartments, it's really stressful right now. Like, or just anytime.
Oh yeah.
Like the housing market is just terrible regardless of like what type of housing you want. It's just terrible. So,
I know,
so yeah.
it's a bunch of people our age like waiting for the stock or not the stock. Well, stock market is also crashing, but the housing market to crash, so we can all afford houses again. It's like yay, yay, go, go. But what?
Right?
Yeah. But you mentioned your mom for a second, and then that reminded me of a question that I want to ask because uh as VTubers and all that, we kind of embody a persona, but we can also be pretty candid. For example,
Mm.
like I listened to your dumpster fire episode with your mom, and
Yeah.
you delved into some personal topics or whatever. But how do you balance vulnerability and performance?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, yeah, I definitely feel like for me, Corey as a character is obviously a princess, right? I mean, a
Hmm.
raccoon that got isekai into a princess, so obviously there's that chaotic flair. But I think like as still like to an innate like princess behavior, I think there needs to be a level of like vulnerability, right? Because it's like you're trying to get your people to rally behind you and stuff. So you sometimes have to be a little bit like, here's my wearing my emotions on my sleeve so that way you can kind of like get your people to do what you want, right? This sounds
Hmm.
manipulative, but like there's like that aspect of like a princess, right? That I feel like works well in my favor. So sometimes for me, I choose to be vulnerable most of the time because I feel like that we need more of that in the world.
Hmm.
But also like especially when there's times where I'm like, okay, I think something's gonna get in the way of me streaming or performing well on the stream, and so then I'm like telling people what's going on. I mean, obviously this like last 2 months have been like ridiculously terrible or crazy and terrible at the same time because before like a week before the house stuff happened, it's just like a series of unfortunate events. Hash, like I can't even get through it,
Mm.
but not to like trauma dump on you,
Oh, you're fine.
but
You're fine.
but the week before I like signed for the house, I had like gotten a dog. It was like a pug named Kennard. I've always wanted a pug named Kennard, and I
Kenner.
finally got him. But TLDR, it's a very long story, but I'm just gonna TLDR it for
Gotcha.
you. Um, I just found out that he had some medical issues that the breeder did not tell me about, even though
Ooh.
I asked, and so I basically had to give him back because I couldn't afford. Like, obviously, I expected to pay medical bills for a dog and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but like I couldn't afford the kind of care he would need for his type of medical condition. And also I just I asked multiple times like, are there any genetic like issues? Are there any medical history or anything like that? And it was no.
Hmm.
So somewhere along the way, I was either being lied to or just not being told the whole truth. You know what I mean? And so
Hmm.
I just was like, it's not fair to Kenner the pug at the time. It wasn't fair to him that like I just couldn't really take care of him. Like I had stairs. Well, I have stairs now too, but like I had stairs where I was at. And he was like basically his medical condition. He was like kind of going blind,
Hmm.
and he was having a really hard time going up and down those stairs because he can't see. And he was only like I think like 7 or 8 months old. And so if he was like nearly blind at 7 months old, he was gonna be completely blind in
Oh
at
yeah.
1 year old. And so I was just like, I don't know if I can take care of this dog. Like I felt really bad, and like I tried to distribute like eye drops that were expensive, and he just wouldn't have it. I couldn't give it to him.
Hmm.
And so I just kind of had to realize like, okay, to give him back. And when that all happened, I was like really emotional, and I was like ugly crying for like days on end. And
Mm.
I don't really cry. I'm not like that kind of person. But like I was like ugly crying, like snot dripping out of the nose into my mouth. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
so at that point I was like, okay, I do need to tell my community like what's going on. And so that I definitely had to be vulnerable in that sense because I felt like, they needed to know. My community, I feel like most content creators say this, but for my community especially, like we're very close knit. I mean, a lot of my community I met at conventions, so we had kind of this like face to face, or as face to face as you can get, like with the VTuber. We
Hmm.
had that like face to face connection at a con, and so for me, like I know parasocial relationships are a thing, but like I truly like want everyone to feel comfortable and want everyone to feel like they're being seen,
Oh yeah.
and I want people to feel like it's okay to be vulnerable, just in a general sense. And so I am constantly vulnerable on the stream, just like maybe to a fault as well. But I definitely like am not vulnerable at things that happen like behind the scenes sometimes. Like I'm not gonna talk shit about anybody or like
Hmm.
try to put anyone down per se. But if there's things that like just are bringing me emotionally down, then like I might kind of talk about it. But yeah, I think it definitely is like a balancing act because like there are times where I feel like I'm talking about something serious and then like someone follows and I'm like, oh shit, I don't want them to feel like this is all my content is, which is just like trauma dumping.
Uh-huh.
So then you kind of have to like put Corey like more at the front, or like that chaotic raccoon personality more at the front, right? So it definitely is like going back and forth. I feel like, and I do think that shows up in my streams sometimes. Like I do have some people come in, like from my community and talking about their day, obviously because I asked, and sometimes they're having a hard day, and like
Hmm.
I want to cheer them up and like allow them to feel like they can tell me about how their day went, whether it was good or bad. So I think like vulnerability in some ways is performance. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because it's like you need to be vulnerable, or perform these acts of vulnerability so that way people can feel like this is a welcoming and open space for them, and feel safe to be able to say those things.
Hmm.
Obviously it shouldn't just be performance, like it should be genuine, like not like it's fake and manipulative or anything like that, but I think genuine vulnerability is like kind of needed all the time. And I also like constantly talk about like my struggles as like a VTuber as well. Like obviously I talked about like the curses of dealing with all of these conventions and IRL events and stuff.
Hmm.
And like I am an open book. Like I'll talk about that. I'll talk your ear off about it like I am right now. So sorry about that.
No, don't worry about it. It's fine. I like hearing about this kind of stuff. So. Yeah.
But yeah, so like I constantly talk about that kind of stuff as well. I talk about my journey as a VTuber. I mean, I've talked about recently. I talked about how like I do feel like relatively like kind of unhappy with like where I'm at right now,
Hmm.
and that I'm now more consciously. I mean, I've been doing it, but like really trying to be more tactful about like my actions and the things that I'm doing online, because that's where I'm struggling the most. And so, but I did say, like, I feel like if I continue to not be like happy with my day to day, I might end up not continuing VTubing next year. Like, that's just
Hmm.
how I feel. And it's not to pity party me, it's just to be like open and honest about like, here's where I'm at. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I think it's a balance for sure. But yeah, thank you for asking that question. What do you feel like is how do you balance that out, or do you just like kind of keep on staying in character? Like, what do you think is like
Uh,
kind of the good medium?
Me personally, I mean, I'm pretty, I'm pretty. I don't really play a character. I mean, I am a hash brown. I sit on the shoulder of a guy named
Hmm.
Friend who doesn't talk, but
Hmm.
but other than that, I'm just me. Usually, if something's bothering me, I'll be honest about it. Like especially
Yeah.
like if like I schedule myself to stream a certain day and I'm just not feeling it. I'll just put an announcement like, hey, sorry, not feeling great. you know.
Mhm.
Um, but there's a whole like when you mentioned Kenner, it was a Kennard.
Yeah, Kennard.
Kennard.
Yeah.
When you mentioned them, that reminded me of my own kind of struggles I had last year with my one of my animals. His name was Max. He was a 25-year-old cat that I had
Oh,
pretty much all of my life, and
yeah.
he. Well, I mean, it was unfortunate, but it's not like I didn't see it coming. He passed before the beginning of this year, and
Mhm.
I was just kind of real, honest about it in my Discord. Like I was keeping people up to date. Like, oh, here's what's happening, da da da. And yeah, I try to be honest about what I'm feeling, and
Yeah.
if I'm just not. I mean, like you said too. Like I've kind of had my doubts about like streaming too. I don't know. Like sometimes like I'm a tiny guy and size doesn't really mean anything to me. I do this for fun, and
Mhm.
sometimes I want to do a project that involves people, and sometimes it just doesn't go anywhere because I don't have the people to do anything, that like kind of thing. And that
Mhm.
kind of I'm just kind of like, oh, but move on to the next thing. Uh, but
I feel that. If it's any consolation, like I even with the projects that I've done, I've felt the same way. Like I get nervous about like, oh, who would I even invite? Like who would I work with? And
mhm,
like, how do I even invite them? And honestly, like, what's helped me is like I've realized that the worst that someone can say is like, fuck you, no. But like otherwise, it's just a no. Like it's basically no, right?
mhm.
And it's not like they're gonna like banish me for asking them. And honestly, most of the time, like 99% of the time, people just ghost you. Like if they don't want to
Oh
do
yeah,
it, they just don't even like say anything to you. So it's like no harm, no foul. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I feel like for me, like I didn't feel okay. So when I was reaching out for like the feature performers and stuff like that for the concert, I was like, who do I even invite? Like I don't know anyone who's like big by any means. You know what I mean? But
Mhm,
it definitely became like, I know that I have something unique. I know I have something fun. And you just kind of have to believe in that. And it's like and once you start believing in that, like you create messaging and outreach that's just like, hey, I have this really freaking fun thing. Do it with me. I
mhm.
promise it'll be a good time. And like you'd actually be surprised like how many people might reciprocate to that. Because honestly, like I don't really get asked to do collabs at all. Like I've never really been asked. I've only been asked like maybe 2 or 3 times in like the
Really?
the three years. Yeah, and like the 3 years that I've been doing this, like, and maybe part of that is my fault because like I had some like traumatic experiences with some VTubers in the community. Like
Oh.
I think it was like my first or second year, and it like really fucked me up. And so like I really like stopped like trying to do outreach or trying to like collaborate with others because I got really scared of like going through those experiences again. So maybe that's partly my fault, but I definitely like don't really get invited to things, and I feel like when someone does reach out, like it's surprising. It's like, oh, you're actually considering me for something like that's really nice.
Mm,
And so honestly, I feel like if it's any encouragement to you, like just try. Like the worst that'll happen is that like they don't respond really, but at least you tried. And like even if you like don't know them, as long as you like show like interest and like genuine interest, like, oh, I saw that you did this type of thing, like you did a talk show or you
mhm,
were on this talk show, and like I have this talk show called The Griddle and I think you'd be awesome on it. Here's what I'd like to ask you about, or something like that. Like that would like intrigue people into like, okay, like this person, this hash brown fella actually like knows like what I do and like what I'm interested in, and like genuinely like cares about what I do. Like okay,
mhm,
I'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? So like if it's any like consolation or like just try, like just try and give it a shot. The worst that someone could do is like not respond really.
mhm,
And like just believe in your event, and just know like nobody else is really reaching out to most people. I mean,
mhm.
obviously if it's Iron Mouse, like obviously you're probably not going to get a response, but like shoot within like a range that you think makes sense, and like just start there and like build your way up from there.
Oh yeah. Uh, yeah. It's I've had a good a good amount of what's it called, people like respond to like the griddle at least.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's been good. This next round, because I'm calling this the griddle season 2, mostly because I lost track of the number that I've done already. Uh, So it's like the Griddle season 2 refried, blah, 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 but so I try to, I'll put it out there like my initial tweet, like they're like, oh, who wants to come on, and I'll get people, and then like, like I saw you, so I'm like, oh, like Corey, yay, because I've been, what's it called, like I'll lurk in your streams a lot, and I've been watching from a distance, being like, oh, go
Mm.
Corey, go, yeah, yeah, but but so it's cool to actually like sit down and actually like talk to you
Thank
finally,
you. Thank you for having me.
yeah, of course. What was I gonna ask? I was gonna ask about your music. Oh, Celestial Curse, your album.
Mm.
Um, and just so we're clear, Unmelting Snow is my favorite song on that.
Thank you.
No problem. How do you approach songwriting? Like,
Mm.
how do you go about that for you yourself?
Yeah. No, that's a really great question. So, thank you for listening to Melting Snow
Mm-hmm.
and the album. Yeah, so for me, honestly, for Corey's music, I actually draw a lot from the lore, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I have two visual novels, as you mentioned, Hash, earlier. So
Mm-hmm.
the first one is called Interstellar Ice, and it deals a lot with like the loneliness and feeling isolated and kind of like ostracized in a foreign world. And because it's an isekai, so
Yeah. Yeah.
there is this person from Earth gets isekai'd into Xylon, and she doesn't know the language. She's like this power, this royalty, piece of royalty, and so she just like it's a lot, and it can feel really like isolating, to just kind of be in this castle and not be able to communicate with others.
Mm-hmm.
And so that the first game really deals with that a lot, and the second game, Celestial Curse, that one deals more with like the anger and the frustration of like being a head of royalty, and like you have to handle all of the the villagers or the people of your
Mm-hmm.
kingdom like just getting mad at you at the blink of an eye over something like silly. Like you could build up, you could do so many great things, but it could all come crashing, crumbling down
Oh yeah.
the second that something out of your control happens. And so it deals with a lot of like anger and envy and still kind of like isolation and whatnot, and desire to be anywhere but where she is right now. And so yeah, that's kind of what the second game deals with a lot. And so Celestial Curse as an album, when I went into writing it, I wanted there to be anger. I needed there to be like just that type of just metal screaming, essentially, just like you're screaming to the mic, you're angry, like
Mm-hmm.
you're just done with everything, you know what I mean? So with Celestial Curse and with a lot of my other songs, like I actually draw almost like straight from my writing in the visual novels,
Mm.
because for me, like, so I have an English degree with an emphasis on creative writing, and
Oh.
so what I specialized in really was like writing short stories.
Okay.
And so for me, fiction short stories. And so for me, like I do really well writing short stories, and I do okay writing like lyrics as well, because I like to write poems and whatnot as well. So it's like kind of like adjacent. But with short stories, I feel like my like style of language and writing comes out a little bit more prevalently in short story writing. And so when I was writing lyrics for Celestial Curse and some of my other songs, like I directly like I would just take lines out, random lines of the visual novel, and I would just copy and paste that onto a lyric sheet. And I'm like, okay, what do I like here? How do I make it work? And so a lot of the lines that you see like in my songs, you might actually find a lot of like parallels in the visual novel as well. And so I wanted to have that connection there with the lore and the music. The
Yeah.
other side of it was that obviously in order to make the songs have emotion, you have to like feel it as like as a vocalist, like and as like a producer, you have to be able to like feel it within yourself, like that anger and like how you get that tone. Like you have to scrunch your face up and like really like let it out.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order for me to like really feel the anger, I had to kind of go above just like the lore, because obviously the person behind Corey is not exactly going through all the things that Koryoja as a character is going through,
Yeah.
luckily. But for me, so for like Unmelting Snow, for example, I wanted to write a song that was kind of like the wanted it to be the word frozen, but I don't like the word frozen because like obviously as an ice princess, you get a lot of people who come onto your stream and they're just like, "Are you Elsa from Frozen? Oh, Disney Elsa?" And like that shit gets so annoying, man. Like, don't do that. You know, like, don't compare other VTubers to each other. Don't compare VTubers to another, like, cartoon character or whatever. Like, that's just not nice. Like, Amelie complained about it. I think, like, Ice Witch Sky also complained about it. Like, all of the ice people complained about being called
Mhm.
Elsa, and they don't even look like Elsa. So, it's just, like, that kind of stuff gets really annoying. And so, with Unmelting Snow, I mean, you listen to it, but there's a part that in it that goes, "Do you want to build a sea of skulls?" It's supposed to kind of be like, "Do you want to build a snowman?" So I had like inserted that because I thought it would be funny.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And
Yeah.
also in Unmelting Snow, it's supposed to be another way to say like frozen, right?
Mhm.
And it's just like something that I felt like would be able to get like some of that anger that I would feel when people would come on and like try to compare me, not just to Elsa, but just like to other people in general, or just say like weird random shit when they come to the stream, that was like rude. And
Mhm.
so that was like kind of like what went into Unmelting Snow. Like I wanted it there to be anger coming from like Corey's lore, but also anger coming from like the streamer experience that like I've experienced as Corey as well, so that way
Mhm.
you could just like really feel the anger, you know, really feel the emotion.
Yeah, I
So
gotcha.
that's basically like how my songs go. It's like there's a lore component that directly relates to Corey Ojo as a character, and then there's a component where it does relate to like me as a person, as a streamer, and like my experiences as well. Because I feel like you kind of need that in order to really get the emotions out, like in the song.
Mhm. Yeah, that was kind of like what or kind of like what a question I was gonna ask too, is because I noticed, yeah, you when you would say like you would talk about Corey the character, and I was it made me wonder, like, do you see Corey as more of like a mask or like a mirror or like something entirely different to yourself?
I don't know. I feel like that's a good question, but I feel like she's kind of like a friend. Like I don't really see her as like I don't she's not me, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like she's like but she is like a step away from me. Like I still feel like we
Oh.
we are similar in a lot of ways, but we're also very different. Like obviously I don't normally talk this way and like we're just different people at the end of the day. But like I don't know, like maybe she is kind of like a mirror in some ways, but I also kind of just feel like she's at the same time like I'm like almost her servant. Like I'm part of the castle staff and I'm like attending to her needs. Like, okay, Corey, I gotta put this
Mm-hmm.
concert together for you. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess she's just like actually the princess of my life. I don't know. Ironically, but no, at the same time, no, she's just like she's also like a friend. Like she's someone that like has connected with me with so many other different people, and it's been great to be able to be her and be with her. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like kind of weird. I guess like if I had to choose one of what you said, I'd say like a mirror, but otherwise maybe like a friend.
Hmm. That's nice. I like the thought of that. Also, hi Phil. Thank you for the raid. Sorry. Welcome in, raiders. Um.
Welcome in.
Yay. And so, oh yeah, when you were talking about your games too, then that made me think of another question. So, to you, when writing or building out the lore for your games, what is more important to you? Do you think narrative consistency or emotional resonance?
That's a really good question. Narrative consistency or emotional resonance.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it's it's I don't know, it's a combination of both, but I think for me it probably is more narrative consistency because I care more about like the development of Corey as a character and the development of the world that she is in, which is Xylon,
Mm-hmm.
than I care about like how much a person reading it is going to like feel emotionally connected. I mean, I have like shit myself options in my game. Like that is what I care about. Okay? I
It's
care
incredible.
about having a button in the game where you can shit yourself, okay? So I made it happen multiple times. So yeah, there's literally a shit myself, like a shit ending. So
It's
anyway,
incredible.
yeah, so for me it's definitely like I think I guess like narrative consistency, just being consistent with like the dumb poop jokes that I make in the game, literally, but also just like being consistent with like Corey's character and her journey, and the world that she resides in. I'm someone that really likes to write. Like I build off of setting more than I build off of character, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And so I care a lot about like the setting that Corey's in, and then how Corey as a character adapts and interacts with that setting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think being consistent with that is more important than like trying to like emotionally connect with people. Because like if you're playing Corey Ozo's visual novel, I'm assuming there's already like an emotional connection. So like I can just kind of like hope on that and just like continue to write the way that I feel best represents like Corey's story, and hope that that does resonate in some way. Um, but I think Corey as a character, like innately, there is some like you kind of can't help but to like connect with her as a character, because like the way that like her story starts off is that she's just like a regular human girl
Mm-hmm.
like on Earth, and then she deals with just like being an introvert essentially, and then she gets like isekai'd, and now she's just like, what the fuck do I do? And she's just like running around like a chicken with its head cut off. And so for I think like it's easy to relate to her in a sense where it's like she's trying to slowly, as the story continues, she's trying to like not accept her fate, but to figure it out, like
Mm-hmm.
to find her destiny, to figure out like where does she want to take this new power, this new body, this new world, like where does she want to go with it. So it's kind of like almost like a coming of age story in some ways, but also in other ways not. So I think it's easy to relate to a character like that, where a lot of people, like everyone has that time in their life where they're trying to find themselves, and some people go through that their entire life. And so I think it's really easy to resonate with a character like that. So I'm lucky that Corey is already like a character that I feel like most people can connect to.
Hmm. All right.
Yee.
Yeah, that's
Great
cool.
question though.
Oh,
Great
thank you,
question.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, I try to think of these questions a little bit in advance, but they're popping off today. Hey, uh, but well, okay, we're almost an hour, so I'll ask you just a couple more questions just to close off. And
Yeah.
do you ever think about your like your digital legacy? Like, what do you want people to remember Corey Ojo for?
Oh, geez, that's a really good question. Well, look, can I ask you that question back first?
Sure. I don't know. I just want to be remembered as somebody who tried their best in whatever they did. That's
Hmm.
that's essentially what I want to be remembered for, or in just being like a generally just nice person.
Yeah. We're
But
doing a great job.
oh,
Accomplished.
thank you, thank you.
You can retire now. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, yeah. Good night, everybody.
I'm
Bye.
kidding. I'm kidding. Goodbye. The stream's over. No, I'm joking. No, that's great. I think that I relate to that for sure. That's nice. I don't know. I think for me, I think it does kind of go back to what we were talking about earlier about like being vulnerable and being open. I feel
Mhm,
like a lot of creators nowadays don't always, not all of them, but like some of them don't always like understand like the type of impact that their platforms have on others. And I'll bring up this story, and it's not to like put anyone down by any means or anything like that, but
mhm,
I remember it was like New Year's. It was New Year's Eve or New Year's, I think,
mhm,
and we're going into 2025, and I remember I got this notification on my Twitter, and it was of this wonderful person that I met at a convention in the past. And they had like tagged me in some posts before of like, oh, here's some of my favorite VTubers, like it's Koryojo. And then there's like these big names of like Shy Lily or Cottontail or Cinder or like Bow. Like it wasn't exactly them, but just to give examples, like
yeah.
it was like pairing my name, little Koryojo, next to like Amelie and like all these freaking big VTubers, and I'm like, I'm just honored to even be considered in that list, because I'm like, I'm nowhere near them, At least that's
Mhm,
how I felt. And so all of a sudden that New Year's Eve, I got this Twitter notification, and it was from this person, and they were tweeting about, I don't know what was going on. Like I don't have the full context because obviously it was just like this tweet, but they seemed to be going through a really rough time. And TLDR, I can't remember word for word, and I
mhm,
don't want to do it any like disservice, but they were basically saying like, I feel terrible. Like I wish that I could shine as bright as you guys. Like I wish that I could,
Oh.
be myself the way that you guys are. I wish I could, be a better version of myself. I wish I could, just be be the kind of people that you have put yourselves out there to be. I wish I could be better. Like that kind of vibe, basically.
Mhm.
Not word for word, but like that's basically what they're saying was like they wanted to be more like us and like turn out like us in some way where we can be ourselves. And they kind of like ended it with something that was kind of like a goodbye, and I was like, this like I've had other people with like mental issues in my life, and
Mhm.
reading that, it just triggered something in me that was just like, okay, what's going on? Like I like, and it sucks because I can't do much because I'm a couple steps away as a streamer, as a content creator, and I'm obviously not a therapist, right? I'm not licensed.
Mhm.
And so I comment back, and again, he tags me and he tags like a bunch of big VTubers, huge VTubers, and or indie VTubers I should say. But
Mhm.
and then I comment back, and I try to be supportive, and I'm like, hey, like you're amazing, and I don't know you that well, but like because of people like you, we are given a platform to be able to shine as bright as we are. We're given a platform to be able to be ourselves. We wouldn't feel this encouraged to be ourselves if it wasn't for people like you. And
Mhm.
so like please keep doing what you do, because like we appreciate that, and you are appreciated, you're valued, and like please keep staying around, you know what I mean, basically,
Yeah.
because it sounded like they weren't going to be around anymore, and I was kind of scared. And I just remember after that, nobody none of those big indie VTubers like said anything on that post. Like they're not obligated to, and I know that. I'm not trying to put them down and or anything like that, but
Mhm.
it really like shocked me because it was like this person could be doing something irreversible to themselves right this minute, and none of these people care. That's what
Mhm.
it felt like. And it just was like, damn, like I was so grateful in that moment for the community that I had built, because I know like we all felt open enough to, or vulnerable enough to like be able to talk about things before it got to that point. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and that I had the platform that I had where it wasn't so big that I would miss a notification like that. I don't want to miss moments like that where somebody could potentially need help. And like, while I can't always be help, at least I could try to point them in the right direction to get help. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? And so I think for me, where I'd like to leave an impact, or what I like to be remembered for, is just being open and supportive and positive, and being able to connect with as many people as I can. I mean, that's why we do the conventions. That's why we're doing like these IRL events. Is like I want to connect with people. Like at my core, that's what Corey wants to do,
Mhm.
is to be connecting with others, and hopefully making people smile, as corny as that is. You know what I mean? But that, I think that's just like where I like to keep going. It's like I don't want to miss moments like that where I could potentially help somebody, and I want to keep being positive and a raccoon online, basically, so that way people can hopefully hang out and feel relaxed and smile along with me. So I guess that's what I would like. I guess to part B of that would be like, hopefully, and I've already started seeing this impact, where I've been going to all these events and conventions and had these collaborations with some sports and whatnot,
Mhm.
and I'm starting to see more of that now, and I'm
That's
really
cool.
happy to see that. I'm really excited to see, like, you know, if nothing else, I hope that the impact that I made was to help get VTubers more into the IRL space, because that has been my mission statement for the last like year.
Mhm.
And and now I'm starting to see more and more of that in the space, and like that's really exciting. So I feel like I've already kind of like left that mark in some way, so I can retire now as well with you, Hash. But but yeah, so
Uh,
that's kind of where my head goes with that. Thank you for the great question.
oh, yeah, of course. Okay. We're right at the hour mark, but I'll ask you. I think I'm gonna make this like a
Take your Yeah, for sure. Go ahead. Take your
like
time.
which who's it like a question that I'll probably ask everybody, but just just generally, what's a what's a piece of advice, whether it not be whether I mean whether it be just like life advice or streaming advice, what if you have one piece of advice to give to anybody who may be watching, who you think they could use this, what do you think? What advice would you share?
Yeah, no, it's great. So, my advice would be to be you. Like, I know it sounds corny, but let me get through my thought.
Okay.
Unfiltered, be you. Just shine as brightly as you possibly can and want to, of course. Be whatever color you want, however bright you want. Be you,
Hmm.
and other people will see you shining brightly and want and feel inspired to shine just as bright and shine in their own way. I think the more that we can be ourselves and have that freedom to express ourselves and openness to do that, the more that other people will be encouraged to do exactly that. And I think that's just like a happier world to be in. Now, obviously, don't do anything that's gonna like hurt others
Oh,
and
of
like,
course, yeah.
you know, don't be crazy, obviously, but like be you and safely be you and not hurt anybody, and be careful with your opinions on Twitter because people are crazy on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
um but but like I think as long as like if you're shining brightly, I genuinely feel like other people will see that and they'll feel inspired to do the same. And I think that's a really powerful thing, to be able to inspire others and to know that, hopefully maybe it'll inspire you too to know that you're inspiring others. Keep
Hmm.
motivating you to do your best and keep being unfiltered you.
Hmm.
So that is my life advice there.
Oh,
It's pretty straightforward, but
yeah.
like that's how I feel. Yeah, genuine.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, somebody may have needed to hear that, so it's good advice, I think. Uh,
Heck yeah. I have
yeah.
a question for you
Oh, sure, sure.
that I always ask people.
Hmm.
So you don't have to answer if you're not comfortable, but um basically I want to hear a shit story. So a time when you're like, I don't know, you had something really bad to eat and it was just like terrible and you had to deal with like a lot of a bad shit. Maybe you shit your pants, maybe you pissed your pants, like just like a shit story, or maybe just like you walked into a bathroom and there was just something crazy in there. Like
Oh
just
my
give
god.
me give me like a shit story.
That's what his son in my chat just said reset. There's a whole joke between me and a friend of mine, Ginkgo, where when we come together, all we talk about is shit for some reason. Every time it comes up fart or shit, and we have a whole timer clock thing. It's like a chat thing where you just say reset on this day at this time. It's just it's really
uh,
funny. But no.
okay, well, reset the clock. Reset it. Let's reset it right now. Okay? With this fart gun, the clock has been reset. Thank
Incredible,
you.
incredible. Thank
Yeah,
you, thank you
thank you,
so
thank
much.
you.
I'll be sure to put your
Cinema.
name in the reset this time. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, the first thing that came to mind when you said shit story. Oh boy. So years ago, when I used to go to I used to go to like a trade school, and it was like a you stay there, like kind of like college, just but without all the money
Ew.
and
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
but I remember going to the bathroom one morning before going to class, and I opened up the stall, and I don't know if it was just because I was tired or I didn't just, I was just in shock. But it took me a second to realize that as I was like unbuckling my pants to do the deed, I looked around me, and the entirety of the stall, every wall was covered in shit.
Oh my
And
god.
yeah, and that's what I said. I said, "Oh my god!" Yeah. And I backed out very quickly. I'm so sorry if anyone's eating watching this. And there's this one guy that I was like friends with, and he was like, "What?" And I was just like, I just told him, "Don't go in there for your own sake." And of course, he goes in there,
Of
and
course. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's the only thing to do. The only way to respond.
and he had about the same reaction, and I just went out and I just saw the nearest like administration person. I was like, "Hey, so it wasn't me, first of
Yeah,
all,
yeah.
just so we're clear, I wouldn't be telling you
Right,
this."
right.
And he's like, and somebody took their poo and rubbed it all over this stall, and the guy, he didn't look surprised, he didn't
Mm.
look whatever, he just said, "Not again," like that, and I'm
No,
like,
not again.
yeah, and I'm like, huh? Is this a thing that happens here?" And I was like
Bruh.
new to this thing too. I was like, "Oh boy,"
Right.
and then ended up having like a whole like giant meeting of people being like, "All right," like this like big administration guy in charge of everything. It's
Mm.
like, "All right, we gotta stop. pooping
Pooping.
and rubbing it all over the stalls, guys. Come
Oh
on.
my god.
Come on. We had a whole like sit down, like come to Jesus meeting about it. I'm like, oh my god. But
That's crazy.
yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind. That's like one of not straight up traumatic, but it was just like one of those things like, oh, I've never seen that much poo in my life.
Yeah, no, that sounds traumatic.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, you were like it was early morning. You weren't expecting that. You were just like trying to do your business and then you just saw all that business that you did not sign up
Yeah.
for. Like, no, 100%.
God, I,
100%.
s- I close my eyes and I see it. That's
You see,
crazy. Oh,
sleep paralysis demon is just the stall
I just
in
yeah.
the corner of the room.
I'm stuck on my bed. I can't move, but I can move my eyes, and everything's covered in shit, and I'm
Oh no.
screaming. Ugh.
Oh, that's a nightmare. Now, the only thing that my university had was like they had to tell they like sent a notice out and they had like these like flyers or papers like on the like by the bathrooms that said like boys you need to stop
Oh
jacking
man,
off in the like you need to stop ejaculating in the
in the
shower
shower,
because
you're
yeah
clogging
because
the
it's like
drains.
yeah, because it's clogging the drains. I was like, oh my god. But you know what? Like, what else are they supposed to do? Respectfully, like,
Yeah.
what else are they supposed to do? Like, I get it. Like, they're like at this time I was like a freshman, so it was like it made sense. Okay, it was like their first time completely away from parents, and they're like, sure, they're in a dorm room with like potentially two other guys, but like, dude,
Yeah.
what are they gonna do? You know, like
Understandably, it's
they're
like,
gonna go
yeah,
somewhere.
where else are you gonna do it? Yeah, exactly. Like without
Yeah.
being like a creepy person.
Exactly. I'd rather them do it there than to be like nasty to other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, God, that reminds me too. Not even like a month later, at that same place that I was at, in the men's dorms, got completely overflowed with like just like sewage water.
Ugh.
Like it was like coming up through the grates or
Oh
whatever.
no!
And
Ew.
I remember we had some people that didn't speak like English. They were like foreign people coming in to do like
Mm-mm.
learn a trade and stuff like that. And they were explaining to us like, hey, we can't use the bathrooms. Like if you need to use the restrooms, go over to the women's side. Um, and we had to do a whole like be escorted to the women's restroom because of course. Uh, and we had a guy there from Mexico, and he didn't speak a lick of English. And it was, but he was one of my favorite guys. He was really funny, and he was looking around while the person that was telling this, and he was like kind of confused, because he's like, what's going on? What it's saying,
Mm-mm.
and I don't speak a lot of Spanish, but I just looked at him. I said, "Agua es caca," and like that, just it got the point across and
Right.
and he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
That
Yeah,
connecting each other,
yeah. Wow.
languages, crossing barriers.
Look at us, human beings connecting about poo
Yeah.
poo. Wow.
Poo poo. Exactly. Poo poo de caca.
Yeah, poo poo caca. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we have reached the hour mark, so
Yes. Thank you for the
uh,
shit story.
of course, yeah, and thank you for asking that question. That was a really great note to end that on.
Yeah, 100%.
the
Exactly. The
uh
shit
the
ending, you
brown
know?
note, as we say.
Oh, they
The ha. But but anyways, thank you so much for coming on. I super appreciate you.
Heck
And
yeah, thanks for having me.
of
This was really
course,
fun. You had really great questions.
oh,
I
thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to see where you go from here. Whether it be like how you're saying, potentially not streaming anymore next year, which is, I mean, hey, that's your
It's
own,
progress. Yeah.
yeah, but it's cool, and I'll be sure to message you about the concert thing because I think I can make that actually, so we'll see about that.
Yeah, come by. Feel free. Obviously, if you do happen to go, reserve a ticket. I can't do that for you,
Oh yeah, yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah.
But yeah, reserve a ticket and for sure, because we're running out of tickets a lot faster than I
Okay,
expected. So
all
again, I
right.
thought only 5 people were gonna be there. So so unfortunately, it's not just 5 people. But yeah.
That's funny. But again, thank you so much for coming on. I super appreciate you, and it was lovely talking to you.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was great chatting,
of
especially
course.
since we've like kind of known each other for a little bit here.
Yeah, I know we've been like friendly acquaintances from
Yee
for a
yee.
while now. And I know you said before that who's it? barely anyone asks you to collab. If you would like to play a game sometime, I would love to, because I'm always down to collab with. I mean, anyone really. I mean, especially you now. Now that we're more friendly, hey. But
For sure.
yeah, yeah, I'd love to.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, doors open anytime.
cool, cool beans. All right. I'm going to drop out of the call so I can end this. But then again, thank you for being so lovely, and thanks for coming on and talking to me for a good while.
Yeah,
All
thank you. Thank you
right.
so much for having me. Have a
Of
good
course. You
night.
too. Good night. Oh, that was lovely. Oh God. Wait. Let me just. That I still have Discord open. How do I get rid of this? Oh. Boop. There we go. Thanks for having me. Of course. It was good to see this make a return. Yeah. I'm hoping to do this more often. I have some other people lined up. I just have to get in contact with them and set things up. But yeah. Usually I don't acknowledge follows or raids. Usually when I'm doing this, just because I don't want to like interrupt the flow of the conversation. But I'll take this opportunity to say, thank you Sailing Circle for following. Thank you Phil for the raid. Thank you King for resubscribing for 17 months, and thank you Vaughn for resubscribing for 4 months. Isn't that great? Look at all these nice people. Um, but yeah. Thank you everybody for coming. It was so great to hang and talk with Corey. It was great. Like we said, we've been kind of friendly acquaintances for a good while now. Oh, I saw it. Thank you for the 19-month streak. Wow, that's crazy. Um, this was an amazing stream. Oh, thank you, Spunky. I saw Steam or a Steam notification from Phil. She opened up a repo, and I was like, my vision was like, my eyes went wide. But anyways, I'm going to end this now. It was lovely having this, and I will be streaming something tomorrow. I don't know what yet, but good night, everybody. Yippee!